Danny, absolutely extraordinary moment with Joe Kernan yesterday with the president. It takes us back to Arthur Burns and how Nixon had to get over the shock of April of 1960 and that recession. Are we doing another Arthur Burns in real time?
Well, I think we are, and I think this was inevitable. I've seen this coming for some time. That Trump eventually would turn his eyes and attention towards the Fed. I mean, in some sense, they brought it on themselves. You know, I've been on your program many times arguing that Fed raising rates is a mistake. The Nehru's probably around 2.5%. There's no inflation. There's no no high inflation expectations. Wage growth is benign. So this looks like a mistake. And in some sense, it is the consequence of the Fed failing to see the Great Recession and potentially making another mistake. So the response is saying, oh, the Fed's independence is everything. People should have in their head, supposing they're in error, supposing this is a turning point, supposing they shouldn't be raising rates. So you can argue, you know, let's be a recalcitrant child and give the middle finger to the president. If he says, I don't think this is a really good idea, you know, we're going to raise rates. Well, supposing they're wrong. So I think this was inevitable. I think Trump is going to be turning towards them because in a way he was right. Yes, the economy booming forward and every step to try and make it booming and improve workers' living standards, raise wages, the Fed's going to raise rates. Danny, well, supposing I'm right, supposing the narrow is 2.5%, Trump then is right.
Back to McChesney Martin in 1951, who is supposed to push against the president? Is it Chairman Powell? Is it the economics community like yourself? Or is it within the White House? Who pushes back against a president fracturing Fed independence?
Well, I think the answer is the data, the evidence. I mean, I think that we have to remove the personal, we have to remove the heat and the rhetoric, and I think we have to get down to a serious argument about whether this is the right thing to do. So on the one hand, the president is saying you are raising these rates, it's preventing the fiscal stimulus working. And on the other side, the Fed says, you know, here is why we're doing this. But I think that the evidence of why they're doing it is very weak. They have to take on the intellectual
but Danny,
argument.
To push against that, we've got a 4% Make America Great Again economy, don't we?
Well, the question is going forward. I still think we have to think. I think that the debate it doesn't really understand what a central bank who has to vote on rates like I used to has to do. You have to say, what's it going to look like in 18 months' time or so? You have to think about, you make actions now, what's coming at the forecast horizon. And I keep saying to people, this is the second longest recovery ever. By June 2019, it will be the longest ever. Do you think this recovery is going to go on forever? And the likelihood is that with Fed wrongly raising rates, that's what turns the economy down. So my view is the prospect of a U.S. recession in the next 2 years is probably better than, it's probably 70%.